The Quote Goats podcast. With your hosts, Tommy Guns. The Quote Goats podcast.
Today, I want to talk about Kanye West and Candace Owens and them wearing a particular shirt that's got a lot of people pissed off right now. Got a lot of people pissed off, preferably, or what I mean to say, it's got a lot of black people pissed off right now. If you don't know, they posted this photo. If you're listening to the audio of this, Candace Owens has a white shirt that says White Lives Matter, and Kanye has a black shirt that says White Lives Matter. And okay, we all know Kanye West, and he always looking for some attention. He's called himself the biggest troll, you know what I'm saying? So he's obviously doing this, or he obviously did this to bring more media attention and awareness to his fashion show, and to spark up some controversy, and to go viral and garner some more attention for his fashion event or whatever. So now that that's said, let's get to the slogan that's on his shirt and what it actually means and where it came from. And let's just get into it, okay? So, White Lives Matter. My question to everybody is, do white lives not matter? Like, why does saying white lives matter automatically negate the fact that black lives matter? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously black and white lives matter, and Asian lives matter. Like, everybody's life should matter, and that should be like a universal thing that everybody agrees to, unless you're a racist, right? And but like I said, a lot of black people are up in arms about Kanye wearing a shirt that acknowledges the fact that white lives matter. And you could bring up the argument that supposedly the White Lives Matter slogan was born and came up with as a counter to the Black Lives Matter slogan. And I don't know how true that is. I vaguely remember that being said when, George Floyd got killed and Black Lives Matter rose to prominence. The organization rose to prominence, and the slogan rose to prominence because Black Lives Matter was born out of black people feeling like people felt like black lives don't matter because of police brutality and the oppression of black people. So black people started saying Black Lives Matter to remind people that black lives obviously matter. Totally agree with that. I'm black, you know what I'm saying? My mom and my daddy black, you know what I'm saying? My kids black. My oldest daughter is black. But 2 of my kids are black and white. And am I supposed to tell them that half of them matter? Half of them matters and half of them doesn't? Am I supposed to tell my wife and the mother of my children that her life, she can't acknowledge the fact that her life matters because it offends me in my life as a black person? I think that's a little ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the White Lives Matter came up with as a counter to Black Lives Matter, but that was just like one, whoever, if that's the case, that's one person coming up with it. But it doesn't change the simple fact that everybody's life matters. Like all life matters. So I don't get why everybody is so upset. You know, like people, black people, my people are rightfully, what's the word I'm looking for? Are rightfully upset at a certain subset of people and the way our ancestors were treated, you know, during slavery and for years and years after slavery, you know. And I understand that that makes people sensitive to things that happen today. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, I mean, what I wish would happen, I wish that black people would let go of this victimhood mentality and stop blaming white people for every shortcoming that they have in life. Like white people don't have shortcomings too. Like every white person in existence is supposedly born with some silver spoon in their mouth, and they don't have to overcome and go through things in life in this exact same way that black people do. You know, I'm not trying to say that black people haven't been through a lot and we had to fight. Well, I didn't have to fight. My ancestors had to fight oppression and things like not being able to vote and, you know, segregation and everything like that. But it's a new day and age. It's 2022. And maybe there might still be things in society where black people are oppressed or held back. But I can honestly say that I don't feel oppressed in my life, and I never really have. If anything, I'm proud to be black, and I wouldn't be any other color. You know what I'm saying? For a number of reasons. But that's neither here nor there. I don't get why everybody is so mad at Kanye West. And to every black person who's making a TikTok or every celebrity who's making a video condemning Kanye West and Candace Owens for wearing this shirt, I would ask you this. Is there not one white person in your life that you don't care that you're offending by being so mad at the simple fact that a black man put a shirt on acknowledging that their life matters too? You know, every white person isn't a racist. You know, my wife is not a racist. There are probably still a small amount of racist white people, but you guys do realize that no white person alive today has anything to do with slavery. You do realize that the first slave owner in America was a black man. Recently, a movie came out called The Woman King, and it brought it to a lot of people's attention, including mine, that certain African tribes, and in this particular movie, the tribe called the Dahomey tribe and surrounding tribes played a major role in selling my ancestors into slavery in the transatlantic slave trade. And before white people even went to Africa, black people were already enslaving each other, cannibalizing each other, murdering each other, sacrificing each other, beheading each other. And when white people showed up, they sold their war whatever you they sold their own people into slavery. So why are we only mad at white people? I understand they bought the slaves and they took them to wherever they took them and made them do whatever they made them do for however long they made them do it. But black people sold them and enslaved them initially. And slavery has been a staple in society for thousands of years before that. Every civilization before that had slaves. White, black, Roman, Greek, whatever you want to call it. But you know who abolished slavery? You know who were the first people on the planet to abolish slavery were? White people. Europeans. Not too long after that, Americans. And do you know Europeans had to go to war with the same African tribes that they were selling the slaves to and make them stop enslaving each other and selling themselves? They had to send warships on patrols to stop the slave trade. Do you know who went to war with their own people in America and eventually abolished slavery? White people. Do you think black people could have got out of slavery? Maybe they could have, but they didn't. Who do you think helped black people get out of slavery? White people who didn't agree with it. My point in saying all that is the shit is not as black and white as you think it is, and all white people are not as evil as black people or anybody, or maybe some white people would like people to believe. White people are not our enemies. Racist people are our enemies. And a lot of black people in our community is taking, let me see how I'm gonna word this. Our community, like I said, rightfully so, feels a certain way about how our ancestors were treated. You know, and that causes us to sometimes cry wolf or assume that a lot of things are racist, or a lot of things that people do are intended as racism when they're actually not. We act like we can read people's minds and we're so quick to label somebody as a racist. But sometimes maybe that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And just like the feminist movement, the radical feminist, third wave feminist movement, some black people are trying to seemingly not just shoot for equality in society, they're tiptoeing around black superiority, in my opinion. Like, they act like black people can't be racist towards other races because of the racism that we've went through. But reverse racism, if you want to call it, is a real thing. And just because you're black and oppressed doesn't mean you can't be racist toward other races. You can be. And just because you're black doesn't make you better than anybody else. Nobody is better than anybody else, in my opinion. Everybody should be equal, regardless of your skin tone. You know what I'm saying? And until we stop separating each other by our skin tones and our complexions, shit is just gonna get worse and worse. Until we start seeing each other as human beings, as one human race, and not just dark skin or light skin or white or black or whatever race you want to call, society is going to be in trouble. And as black people, if we keep crying wolf, if we keep blaming everything on racism, it's never going to go away. That can't be the reason for every shortcoming. Racism cannot be the reason for every shortcoming in your life. Stop blaming white people for everything. Most of them are not thinking about you and don't have a racist bone in their body. So yes, I applaud Kanye for wearing the shirt. I wouldn't wear the shirt. I wouldn't wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. Because to me, all life matters. We're all human beings. So people like Willie D or Boyce Watkins, who so up in arms over Kanye and Candace Owens wearing this, saying they hate themselves because they don't hate white people. It's ridiculous, man. And we need to get out of that mentality as a society and stop segregating our own selves from the rest of everybody else. And everything got to be black this and black that and the first black this. Why it just can't be a human doing something cool? Why does everything have to be labeled with what color you are? We need to get past that, people. And y'all can call me an Uncle Tom and a coon or whatever, but I'm just speaking my perspective, my point of view. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's it, man. I go by the name of Atomic Guns. I'm the quote GOAT. See y'all next time.